Hi, nobodies. So, shit didn't get done today. Probably because it was not my shit to do. So, the plumber came. I've got a busted pipe. A little bust. He wants to put a flexible a pipe under there. Well, he was done figuring that out by 1:30 and won't come back until Monday. Nice, right? My aunt called. He told my aunt, he's like, "Well, call the water department about your pressure." So she calls. Now, I don't know if she's calling. Technically, like, according to our mailing address, we live in Benton. According to Google, I live in Bauxite. There's a water tower near here that says Tull. Now, I don't know how quick these people are going to get around to us. Like, I don't know if it's Benton water, Bauxite water, or Tull water. I'm thinking if it's Tull water, they don't have a lot of money. And my aunt said when she called, the lady was just like, hello, like, okay, not even saying, like, my aunt had to say, is this the water department? And they're talking about, well, we'll check our equipment and blah, 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 but didn't say when. So it's like, gee, that's cool. Didn't get to go to the grocery. Did go to Dollar General, though, which is like 1.5 miles from where I'm staying. So I've been bored today. Now, this morning, I woke up in a cold sweat. Like, I was freezing my ass off, but I was covered in sweat. I hate waking up like that. It's like you pissed yourself. It's horrible. At least to me it is. I don't like being dirty. And to me, if my clothes are soaked in my sweat, I'm dirty. This cat. He found his mousies. Okay, so I took a nap. Now, I get a lot of telemarketer calls, a lot of them. Now, I put my phone on my mattress by the pillow. For some stupid reason, when people are trying to call me, people I want to talk to, it doesn't fucking ring. Like, I'll have no service on the phone. But the telemarketers get through. It's like the wind blows a certain way and they're like right on it. So I was having this dream, this ultimately the craziest dream I've ever had. And I've had some really crazy dreams. I mean, my mind goes to all kinds of strange places, especially during naps. So I was high. Now, not the kind of high that I've ever experienced in my life. No, this was so far, like, this is like what you would want a high to always be like. It was so cool. And I can't think of anything I ever did that was like, that had me feeling like this dream. And not even a combination of things. I tried some. And, but I think in the dream, I knew like I was high. So I'm thinking that in the dream I'd smoked weed, but I didn't see what I had done. I just knew that I was fucked up. And the flies were talking to me and they were saying stuff, and I was trying to talk to them, and they were saying, and they wouldn't talk to me. Like, they were talking to me, they were talking, but they weren't talking to me. And so I like let my voice get really high pitched, and I was like, I said something, and then the fly says to me, more words are coming. And I was like, what words? What words are coming? I was like really invested in that. So the phone ringing and waking me up. I was like, I looked and it said California, and I was like, oh, it's a fucking telemarketer. I don't know his number. It's always saying like all these weird places. And so I was like, hello. And it was my cousin Jamie. And she's like, hi, Anne. How are you this morning? And I was like, oh, I'm sorry. Sorry, Jamie. I thought you were a telemarketer. Why does your phone say California? And she's like, I don't know. She said it was some Wi-Fi program she was running. So as I'm shaking the dream away and saying, okay, I'm going to talk to my cousin, the door swings open. And I was like, how the fuck did that happen? You know, the doors are locked. So I close the door and I come into the living room. Now, bear in mind, I wasn't asleep for very long, so I had that really heavy nap fog. So I'm talking to Jamie, and then I was like, oh shit, Polly, aka Bubba, aka New Butters. I was like, where's he at? Because he likes to dart out when he tries to dart out when you open the door. And so I start looking in the kitchen and I hear whoa outside. And I was like, oh crap. So I go back to the other door and he immediately runs in. And I come back into the living room and he sits down on the floor. And I was like, how the fuck did that door get unlocked and swing open? And I said, Polly, did you open that door? Did you learn how to unlock the door? And he made a sound that I swear to God sounded like he said no. This is a cat. I've heard him say hello, and now I've heard him say no. And Jamie heard it too. She laughed. So that was like the coolest part of my day. And I checked my voicemails and I had like 7 messages from this one fucking telemarketer. 7 different fucking phone numbers. So I was like, okay, fuck these people. I reported them to the FCC. I believe that's what it was called. Whenever you keep getting, it's harassment. Nothing came of it last time when they were like trying to give me grants. But, you know, so this afternoon, I guess about the most productive thing I've done today is try to figure out how to save money when I go to Ohio. You know, like it is so much cheaper to rent a car if you're going, like if I was going up there and coming back, but not for 2 weeks, you know. So, I mean, it raises it up quite a bit just for me to leave it in Cleveland. And then the cheapest places, they want a credit card. They won't use a debit card. And I know why they don't. It has to do with damages and shit like that. Pain in the ass. So I was like, maybe I could get somebody to drive me. But that's a big ask, you know, because I mean, it's cheaper. Like if I return it, if I pick it up in Little Rock and return it in Little Rock and keep it for 2 fucking days is cheaper than the one-way trip to Ohio. And I'm like, fuck. So I was like, well, I'll look up Greyhound because if I go sooner, it's not so important that I get, you know, like I can ride a 29-hour bus ride. No. Fuck that. $172? Fuck that. No, that ain't happening. So then I thought, you know, like I'll bite the bullet. I'll get Brian to pay for the plane ticket. And I'll fucking fly. But no, the round trip went up to like $600. So I was like, fuck that. You know, you have to reserve ahead of time. And I don't have the money. So then I was like, if I could find somebody who we could go get it Saturday. And then, you know, just say, hey, you don't have to have it back till Monday. Then that would work out pretty good. You know, they could explore. But I don't know anybody who wants to explore. And honestly, when you think about it, because I was looking this up, I was like, hey, How fucking cool would it be? And by all means, if anybody's watching this and you know of a service that does this, feel free to drop a comment. A driver, like Uber or Lyft, but you book like a trip, and they fucking drive you. Maybe it's a couple. Make sure they do the background check, because you don't want to be going interstate with a couple of killers, but think about it. I mean, if you got a brand new car and you get to go like travel a little bit and see things, I mean, you wouldn't even really have to live anywhere. You could just fucking travel and get paid. That would kick ass. I guess. I mean, it could. You pay them $50 to drive you, plus the rental car fee or whatever. And basically, they get $50 to sit on their ass and drive, or however much. It doesn't really matter. I mean, it matters, but it doesn't matter. I mean, like I wish I knew people, more people, so I could say, hey, road trip. Of course, I didn't want to know them very well because, I mean, you want to make sure that they get the car back to the airport on the appropriate day. I mean, my first thought was of like my daughter and her husband saying, hey, y'all want to go to Ohio? You want to drive a Tahoe again, dude? Like, come on. But the Tahoe is kind of high. I mean, it's not that bad though, really. But it would require, like, they wouldn't really get to see a whole lot because it would have to be for 2 days because it's 13 hours there, 13 hours back. They'd probably want a hotel room, There's a lot of variables that I have to think about on that. So it looks like I'll just be ponying up the extra. Traveling. Such a bitch. Especially when you can't, like, when you're poor, so you can't, like, pre-book shit. See, if I pre-booked that flight, I could have done it for, like, $294. That's taxes and everything for the trip. But no, I didn't. Because I don't have the money. I have to wait. And then I don't have a credit card. And when I can put money on my credit card to pay it off, I do have a credit card, it's just not paid off. I can put money on it, but it takes a couple of days for it to get on there. Fun, right? So stupid. I'm stupid. Anybody who's watching this, and has watched me quite a bit, knows that I'm stupid. I'm smart, but I'm stupid. It's a common condition. Little nut. Where's your other mousies? You made a mess, Polly. I like him. Lexi has taken up residence behind the toilet. This morning, they were both on my bed, but neither one of them was paying attention to me. I got woke up. I mean, not just from being cold. Like, I had woke up earlier because I was cold and wet, and I pulled, like, my electric blanket over me. But what woke me up was Polly knocking my phone off the counter, my other Samsung. He knocked it off the counter, and when I woke up, him and Lexi were cat-a-corner to each other on the bed, just staring at each other. Like, he can get close to her. Like, he can get to the front of the toilet and she doesn't hiss at him. She just looks at him and he looks at her. But they ain't wanting to fight. But she's not really saying, like, hey, I'm coming out. I mean, I guess I'm going to have to start feeding her behind the toilet, too. I don't know. My aunt's cats are calmed down without Polly there. Apparently, he's a lot more trouble than we thought he was. Oh, he's a mess. I try to eat. He's all over me. He's in my face a lot. I mean, I end up saying, "Go, get off me." He's a handful. I don't know that I've ever had a cat that's such a handful. I kind of like it. I'm going to miss him whenever I go for a while. But I will be back. Even though that doesn't seem economically sound. I mean, it would probably, well, no, it wouldn't be cheaper to get a car. And I certainly don't want to put wear and tear on my own vehicle. If I had one. But I don't. And of course, the insurance company has not contacted me about my vehicle, which is now accruing fees at the impound. Isn't that lovely? They're probably not going to pay out, which pisses me off because I gave them money. I've been a loyal customer, and them not paying out on it, I mean, it's one thing if they say, well, I mean, they can't get possession of the vehicle without me signing over power of attorney to them. And I don't have the money to get a lawyer or whatever, or they don't have the capacity or some kind of shit. I don't know. The lady never called me back. And so I'm thinking that it's just going to end up being a loss, just saying, fuck it. I mean, it's going to end up getting sold at auction, and I'm going to get a bill for impound fees, and the insurance company isn't going to pay them. They're not going to pay me, and I'm going to be out of car. But it's kind of my fault. So, I mean, it's all dumb shit. Oh, dumb shit. But, I don't know what's going to happen. I really don't. I keep getting asked, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? What are you going to do? I don't know. I know that I'm here, and I'm happy here, but there are other forces at play in my head. I'm not crazy, I swear. I mean, I'm crazy, but I'm not crazy. I've got a lot of... When something feels unfinished or wrong, it's like, you gotta see it through. I mean, I started something and I just can't let it go. It's kind of like when you're right about something and somebody's kind of proving you wrong, but you're like, no, I'm right. They just don't know it yet, and I can't prove it yet, but I'm fucking right. It's just one of those things that I can't really explain it. It's a feeling I get that I wasn't wrong. And that's not to say that my ex wasn't right. I think that he was right, but so was I. And if he's watching this, he's going to say, how could we both be right? We can't both be right. Yes, we can. Because you can be right about somebody, about the feel of a person, and their own psyche gets in the way of who they are. So we can both be right. I'm not saying that I am right, because I don't know. I could always be wrong. I'm not infallible. I know this. I know I am not infallible. No man is infallible. But I just, letting go, walking away, seems like such a wrong thing to do. It just feels wrong. And I have to go with my gut. And my gut says, take this path. For once, step back. A step back is a step forward. That's what my gut's telling me. A step back is a step forward. In this particular occasion. I don't know, though. But I know it's my decision. Anyway, like I said, not a lot got done today. And that wasn't my fault. Sometimes the world doesn't move at the pace you want it to. And that's okay. And it reminds you that patience is a virtue. And why? It's just when she called the plumber originally, and then she called him again, he's like, oh, I'd forgotten you called. It's like, great business acumen there. I got offered a job today, if I ever need it, in California. There's a reason Jamie was calling me from California. I don't know that I'll take her up on it, but it's nice to know that option's out there. Not that I could ever afford to live in California. But I could always go for a visit, and while I'm there, work. If I wanted to. It's nice to have things offered to you occasionally to say, hey, I'll pay for your travel. I'll come get you. It's like, wow, okay. I mean, and I know my ex is probably going, who is Jamie? That's one of my cousins on my mom's side. I got a lot of them over there. Well, I've talked long enough and really said nothing. So, pretty much like every other night, I'm going to go now. I had a good day. I hope you had a good day. As I always say, every moment is an opportunity to turn things around. Negative thoughts create negative actions. Positive thoughts create positive actions. Just try that out. Reframe stuff. Try to see things from another point of view. It works. If we all have our heads up our asses. It happens quite a bit. Most of the time we don't know our heads are up our asses. So, never hurts to try to see another point of view. Just to, and to get, instead of being offended all the time, try to see a way that it's not offensive. And as I told somebody today, you're always looking for the negative in people. How about you try focusing on their good qualities? Like, what about them is good? Bye.